those of you that are viewing this, I'm going to thank you as always for your patience as we continually try to figure this stuff out. So there's always seems to, not always, but every now and again we have, these technical glitches. And what to do about them except for just embrace them. So looks like we've got Javier in the photo. I don't know if we want him. He kind of adds a little bit of a nice touch. Just going to leave him right there. Okay, so we're going to do some movement. Shouldn't be anything too crazy. As usual, we are going to start in a comfortable seat. All right, we're not looking for anything fancy. We're looking to just sit. And really, that's about it. Become actionless would be a desired quality to have while practicing. Would be maybe something we would consider in a higher state because, of course, here we are. Even the act of sitting and doing nothing is still something, and so we fall into the category, you could say, of Kriya Yoga. Now, there's a few different interpretations of Kriya Yoga. The Hatha Yoga Pradipika and other texts along those lines do have these Shat Kriyas, or these 6 actions of purification. And then Patanjali also has a slightly different definition of Kriya Yoga. Basically, it involves us doing something, though. We are not beyond the state of the body, and since chances are we're here, we're observing this, we're probably in our body, and we want to work with the body. And we want to work with the body as it actually is, not as we want it to be. Of course, it's good to practice sitting up straight. It's good to practice deep, fluid breathing. But if that stuff doesn't happen organically, then just sit. Sit how you organically sit. Be as passive, be as relaxed as you possibly can be while sitting. I encourage you to find this relaxed demeanor in the beginning because we're not going to be in it for very long. Now, if I were to leave you in a seated pose for, 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 1 hour, 2 hours, your posture would show up whether you wanted it to or not. You could kind of will yourself to sit up straight, but if that doesn't happen naturally, you're going to slouch into your normal seat. So might as well just find that normal seat now. Okay, so we want to let things settle. Let any actions you are attempting to do to the posture settle and come to rest. Let any techniques you think you need to be applying settle and come to rest. Begin to lengthen the breath out. Start to make each exhale slightly longer than the one prior. Once you think there's nothing left to breathe out, give it a gentle little umph, a gentle little tone, a gentle little squeeze. Get all the stale air out and then just relax and let that inhale wash over you. And the idea is we're trying to encourage the inhale to lengthen on its own. Give space to the inhale. We give space to the inhale by working the exhale. Towards the bottom of the exhale, we're looking to pull the low belly in. If this is difficult to do, then as you exhale, pull the navel towards the spine, and on the inhale, Relax and let the belly fall out. Let that inhale come as deep as it wants, and then again, exhale. The other action we're looking for is the low belly or the navel pulls in as the pelvic floor tones and lifts. We want to start to keep that exhale pattern, the pulling in of the low belly and the toning of the pelvic floor present through the inhale. And if the eyes are closed on the next exhale, open them to a soft downward gaze. Arms out to the side. We're going to inhale, spin the arms up. I always like the pinky side edge of the palms to press. Exhale, swim the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Again, inhale, spin it up. Exhale, swim, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Last time, inhale, spin it up. Exhale, twist over to the right. As you exhale, let the low back flex, let the tailbone drop. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale to spin up. Exhale to twist over to the left. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, come back to center, up and over the top. Exhale, fold forward. Now, if your head doesn't make it to the floor, let the head fall off. If your head does make it to the floor, still let it fall off. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, walk the hands over to the right. This left arm is going to pull this left kidney around. Right hand is going to push the right chest and pec back. So I'm using the arms to help facilitate rotating the spine. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, over to the left. So now this left hand pushes, right hand pulls. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, fold. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale to sit up. We're going to roll onto our hands and our knees. So if you're in good terms with your knees, roll right over. Now I have my knees a little bit wider than my hips, but still in line. Wrists a little bit wider than the shoulders, but still in line. Now, as I inhale, I'm going to encourage the pubic bone and inner thighs to move back. Sit bones lift and widen. Sacrum sinks in. If the arms were pillars, they reach straight up towards the ceiling, and then the shoulder blades are going to draw down the back. Now, I'm using very strong arms here, and I'm trying to really pull the wrist towards the knees so that the upper body is contributing to the extension of the spine, and we're not just sinking into the low back, we're actually pulling the chest away from the pelvis. This is our inhale pattern. We're going to come back to it obsessively. On the next, or on your exhale, tuck the tailbone, navel to the spine, chin to the chest. Push the shoulder blades back, shoulder blades still draw down, the back navel pulls towards the spine. Gaze softly between the brow. Move through these two patterns at your own pace with your own breath. If there's any wiggling or waggling you'd like to do, any other movements, this is your practice. By all means, go for it. Gotta move this light real quick. Keep an eye on the clock. Otherwise, I'm sure I'd go over. Okay, so we're just trying to warm up the spine here. Some nice, friendly cat-cow motions. Okay. On the next exhale, find a neutral spine. Gonna inhale, tuck the toes. Exhale, push the pubic bone and inner thighs back and up towards downward dog. Take a moment, walk the dog out, bend the right knee, drop the right hip, bend the left knee, drop the left hip. You can do this at a slow, casual stroll or a slightly quicker 1, 2, 3 cha-cha-cha pace. Okay. I'm going to exhale, soften and bend the knees. I'm going to think about that inhale pattern of the cat-cow for the pelvis. Pubic bone and inner thighs pull back, sit bones lift and widen. Strong quads extends the knee, but try and keep your butt lifted. I'm going to ground down through the left foot. Inhale, lift the right leg if you'd like. Exhale, heel to the glute, twist and open if you'd like. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, I'm going to step this right foot forward. I'm going to sink the hips, and I'm going to do all of that while finding a strong exhale shape of the cat-cow. So that exhale pattern we looked at just a moment ago, I'm doing that same pattern here, kicking the top of the left foot into the floor, squeeze the left glute, navel to the spine. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale, come on up. I've got my hips oriented over by my back knee. Again, I'm going to find the exhale pattern. Tailbone tucks, navel to the spine, chin to the chest, ribs pull in. So I've got this rounded shape, and I'm going to try and hold that rounded shape as I sink forward, trying to give all the extension just to the back leg. I don't want to take any through the low back yet. Exhale, come on back, neutral position. Now, I'm going to find an inhale pattern. Pubic bone, inner thighs drop, sit bones widen, spine extends slightly. I'm going to now sink forward. I might be able to go a little bit further than I was in the previous setup. Still very strong back leg, okay? Really kicking through the floor. My back knee is touching the ground, but I'm not weight bearing through it. Collarbones back, shoulder blades down. I'm not jutting the chin in the air. I'm dropping the chin slightly, pulling the jaw back. All right, we're going to exhale, lower the left hand if you'd like. Inhale, reach the right arm up. If you'd like, exhale, right hand comes back. Bend the knee, try and catch the foot with the thumb up, kick the foot back. If you'd like, exhale, bring your heel towards your glute. Now, after I've brought the heel towards the glute, I am trying to, again, tuck the tailbone, navel to the spine, ribs in, and sink the hips. Exhale, lower the hands. Inhale, step that right foot back. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Again, drop the right knee, tuck the tailbone, sink the hips. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale, come on up to a neutral position. Hips in line with the back knee. Again, exhale, tuck the tailbone, navel in, ribs in. Strong exhale pattern from the cat-cow. Hold that shape through the pelvis and the low back as you try and pull the hips forward. The only movement that we're looking to get is extension through the hip joint. Exhale, come on out. Hips over the back knee. Find the inhale pattern. Pubic bone drops, sit bones widen. We are extending the spine slightly. And again, exhale, sink forward. Okay. Now, after you've sunk, you don't just want to continue to keep going through the low back. We want to give as much of this to the hip joint as possible. So again, I'm kicking the foot, squeezing my butt, and I'm trying to lift out of the low back rather than overly sink into it. Chin drops towards the chest to make sure we don't over tense the back of the neck. Jaw pulls back, helps the upper thoracic and neck extend. Then you could lift the chin ever so slightly. Exhale, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. If you did it before, do it again. Exhale, reach back. Catch the foot, thumb up, kick back. Exhale, if you did it before, do it again. Bring the heel in towards the glute. Maybe think about rounding the back, pulling the navel in. Exhale, lower the foot and the hand. Inhale, step the foot back, downward dog. Take a moment, walk it out. We're going to inhale, shift our weight forward. Exhale, lower all the way down. Okay. Moving through a few different variations here. Hands are on the mat, stacked so that I've got a pillow for my forehead. I'm going to exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, kick both of the feet. Exhale, really kick the left foot. Inhale, I'm going to try and lift my right foot up. Okay. Now, I don't want to lift so much that the hip lifts. I want to try and keep that hip on the floor. I'm really squeezing my right hamstring. I am engaging my left glute, but I'm also trying to pretend that I'm balancing a plate of water. and I don't want it to tip. Exhale, lower the right foot. Inhale, lift the left foot. Exhale, lower the left foot. Inhale, pick up both feet. Exhale, lower the feet. I'm going to bring the hands back. Okay. Now I'm going to inhale, lift the chest. Pick your hands up and see if you can lift just the chest. Okay, keep the chest lifted. Inhale, lift the feet. You can find a comfortable place for the hands. Okay, I'm going to bring my hands down. They're kind of by my face. They're not very far back. Okay, exhale, kick the feet, grab the ground, soften the spine. See if you can pull forward. So we went from very active engagement of the back to now the spine is very passive, and what is holding us up is the arms. Think more pull rather than push. You want to be pulling out of the low back. And exhale, lower down. Turn your head to one side. Breathe deeply into the belly. Okay, so I've got my hands out in front in a Sphinx-esque position. So I am propped up on the forearms. Okay, back should be fairly relaxed. I'm going to take a moment and wiggle here, try and free up any space through the low back, the facets, the SI joints. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, kick the tops of the feet. Exhale, pull. If you're doing a good job of pulling, you can move your hands back. Exhale, lower down. Turn your head to the other side. Breathe deeply into the belly. Okay, so now we've got this idea of pulling. You can either pull with the arms out in front in a Sphinx pose, you can pull with the hands a little bit more back in a Cobra pose, or you could pull forward and up into Up Dog or Cobra. Exhale, make your way back to Downward Dog. Take a moment, walk the dog out. Bend the knees a few times, get that hip joint to flex. Get your butt way up in the air. Take a big inhale, exhale everything out. Step or hop the feet forward. My feet are hip distance apart. It's about 2 fists width on average. I'm bending my knees as much as I need to comfortably grab my big toe with my peace sign fingers. With my knees bent, I'm going to inhale, lift the head and the chest. At the top of the inhale, just after the inhale peaks and right as the exhale begins, I'm going to pull the low belly in and fold forward. Gonna think of my knees closer to my chest rather than further away. We don't want to be up here. Keep those knees tight to the chest, strong quads. Work on extending the knee, keeping the hip joint flexed, high butt. We want to think high butt rather than straight legs. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or hop the feet back. If you want, make your way through chaturanga, up dog and down dog. Okay, I'm going to ground down through the left foot. Inhale, lift the right leg with the inner right thigh. Exhale, heel to the glute. Twist and open. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, step that right foot forward. Inhale, come on up. Crescent lunge or warrior one. It's not really going to matter. What does matter is that the back leg is super strong. If you're in a warrior one, we're going to need to really encourage that internal rotation of the back leg. You can be a little bit more laxed about that internal rotation of the back leg in a crescent lunge because the leg is more internally rotated in this pose naturally. Exhale, drop the back heel, warrior two. My foot is turned in from the mat 2 to 5 degrees. So my back heel is behind my pinky toe just a little bit. Inhale, theatrically spin the right arm up, lengthening the right side body. And then exhale, tip into any variation of a side angle pose. Forearm above the knee, hand to the instep, hand to the outstep. Any choice will work for you. Exhale, drop the left hand. I'm going to widen out that front foot, turn the back left toes to point forward. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Strong back leg. Groin is lifted from the floor. Hips are lifted. Front knee moving towards the ankle. Exhale, bring the hand down to the instep. Or actually, bring the hand down to the instep. Walk the hands over to the left for a wide leg forward fold. Okay? Just to show you don't need to turn, but here I am. I have my heels a little bit wider than my pinky toes, arms way out in front, all the way on the fingertips. Bend the knees, find the inhale pattern of the cat-cow. Again, I'm going to inhale. As soon as the inhale peaks and crests into the exhale, I'm going to start to pull the low belly in and fold forward. On the next exhale, breathe all the way out. Pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. I'm going to exhale, walk the hands back to the front of the mat, drop the left knee down. I'm going to lift my right heel, pivot my heel out, drop my heel out so that the foot is slightly pigeon-toed in, and we're doing this to try and get the sit bones to broaden. This will help internal rotation of the thigh. I'm going to exhale, lower onto the forearms. Now, play around. Where is your back knee? Is it forward? Is it back? Is it narrow? Is it broad? Where are your hips? Know that you can explore, and I would encourage you to explore each and every pose. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, slowly come on up. I'm going to ground down through the right foot and the left hand, and as gracefully as I can, step this left foot through. Doesn't really matter how you do it. Just take whatever movements you need to come to a seated position with the right foot flat on the floor. Now, my feet are fairly wide, okay? They are not narrow. Okay, if I was going to mirror you, the foot is not in next to the thigh. It's fairly wide out. It's about the width of the greater trochanter, the broadest part of the hip, broadest part of the femur. Okay, so if I was sitting up against a wall, there's a wall right here, my hip would be touching the wall and the outer edge of the foot would be touching the wall. So left leg out straight, right foot flat on the floor. I've got my left hand, you kind of can't see it, but it's propped out to my left so that I can tip and really get this right sit bone, one, off the ground, two, back. I'm going to be dramatic here, over exaggerate the reach up, over exaggerate the reach forward, maybe stay here, or start to wrap the right hand behind the back and catch. Okay, could go for that pose. Any variation will work. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale to come into a twist to the right. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, unwind. Okay, we're gonna try not to get too confusing here. Right foot pulls back, left foot pulls in. Hands on the hips. I'm gonna inhale, tilt, just like the cat-cow. I'm gonna exhale, tilt, just like the cat-cow. Left hand out to the left, right hand grabs the right thigh, same thing. Inhale pattern, but this time as I inhale pattern, I'm gonna twist and lean to the left and roll the right thigh in. As I exhale pattern, I'm gonna tuck the tailbone, come back to the front facing the front of the mat and roll the thigh out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's do about 5 more. Okay, so left foot is pointed back, right foot is pointed back, left foot is out straight. I'm gonna lean back. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to lift my hips off the ground, tuck the tailbone, and set it back down. Now, only go as far back as you can and make sure you can get back up, especially if you don't have anyone around to pull you back up if you get stuck. Okay, so maybe we're only here. Maybe we're not even this far. Doesn't matter. Maybe you go down onto your elbows. Doesn't matter. Maybe you make it all the way down to the floor. Now, let's say that you're making your way down and your knee pops off the ground. If your knee pops off the ground and you can't get it back onto the floor, you've gone too far too fast. Okay, if it continues to float, then you need to come back up. If you can get your knee back down to the floor, then you're okay. If you start to feel pressure build in the pose, as that pressure builds, you're not going to want to try and sit through it. You're going to want to lift up and possibly come out of the pose early. I am actively reaching this knee down and forward. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, slowly come on back up. Now again, with this right foot, it's going to come forward. I'm going to point the toe, pull it in. We will be folding over this right leg or this left leg, but I want you to think about this right thigh rolling forward, okay? So I'm going to put my left hand on the ground. I'm going to kind of throw my right arm out. And as I throw my right arm out to catch this left leg, I want this thigh to roll forward, okay? And then I'm going to twist to the left to help this thigh roll forward. Exhale, fold forward. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale, come on out. So right foot is going to stay in front. This left leg is going to spin back, and I'm going to take my pigeon variation, okay? Any type of pigeon pose will work. What we don't want to be here is lopsided. I probably need to start to wear brighter colors, okay? I'm not sure how well you can see this. I'm trying to roll to the left. The further forward the shin is, the more externally rotated the femur is going to be, the greater the stretch through the external rotators and the glutes. However, if you cannot maintain a squaring, not squaring action through the pelvis relative to the front of the mat, you're going to want to pull that front shin back into a position where you can keep the pelvis more level. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale to lengthen forward. Exhale to walk the hands back a little bit, tuck the back toes. Inhale, step that foot back. If there's any jiggling or jangling you need to do to wake your foot up, go for it. And if you want to, you could take chaturanga, up dog, down dog to get back to our meeting point for the second side. Ground down through the right foot. Inhale, lift the left leg up. If you did it before, do it again. Heel to the glute, twist and open. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, step the back foot forward. Inhale, come on up. Crescent lunge or warrior one, whichever variation you took on the previous side. Exhale, twist and open, warrior two. Theatrically, as if your arm was growing out of the front of the hip, spin and lengthen that left arm up and reach from your groin. The arm reach up. Exhale, tip into whichever variation of side angle pose you took on the previous side. Exhale, drop the right hand down, turn the back right toes to point forward. Very strong right leg. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, drop that left hand back down. Walk the hands over to the right, wide leg forward fold. You can do the wide leg forward fold again. You can do a different variation. Okay. You could play with an extra wide leg forward fold or have anything that you think will fit the bill for you. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale, walk the hands back around to the front. You're going to drop the right knee. Left foot is off to the left. Left heel is out. Left butt is out. Exhale, lower down onto the left elbow. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, slowly come on up as gracefully as you can. Step that right foot through. Left foot flat on the floor, right hand out to the right. Left sit bone is off the ground. Over exaggerate up, over exaggerate forward if you went for it. Over exaggerate back and catch. Any variation will work. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale, twist to the left. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to unwind. Okay, so the left foot comes out to the side. Try and get your toes to point back. Right foot points, comes in to the front. Hands on the hips. Inhale, tilt. Exhale, tilt. Okay, right hand on the floor, left hand on the thigh. As you inhale, tilt, twist to the right, roll the thigh in. As you exhale, tilt, roll the thigh out, come back facing forward. Okay, we want to keep that left foot facing back. Right foot comes out front, lean back. Think of tucking the tailbone. If you did it last time, lift the hips up, tuck the tailbone, set the hips back down, slowly lower down, only as low as you can, that is comfortable and that you can get back up. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, slowly come on up. This left foot is now going to come in front, toe points, place it in towards the heel, towards the pubic bone. That left thigh rolls forward as we twist to the right. Exhale, fold forward. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Exhale, release. Right leg swings out behind us so that we can take our pigeon variation or any other variations that we took on the previous side. Remember, we want the pelvis level and try not to be lopsided. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale to walk the hands back. Tuck the back right toes. Inhale, step that foot back. If you did it before, go ahead and do it again. Take whatever movements you took to get back to downward dog. Gaze in between the hands. Come to a seated position. We're going to lie down on our backs. Okay, so exhale, plant the feet flat on the floor. Feet are wider than the hips. They're about the width of the mat. I'm going to exhale, roll the knees to the right, look to the left. You can play with the inhale and exhale pattern of the cat-cow through the pelvis here. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, roll the knees to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, pause. Inhale, pick the knees, the feet and the knees up. Exhale, roll the knees to the right. Look to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, roll the knees to the left. Look to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, put the feet down. I'm going to inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, shift the hips off to the left. Lower my sacrum down. Inhale, pick the knees up. Exhale, roll the knees to the right. Look to the left. Inhale, come back to back, bring the knees up. Exhale, come back to center neutral position. Inhale, lift the hips, shift them over to the right. Exhale, lower the sacrum down. Inhale, pick the knees up. Exhale, roll them to the left. Look to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bring the low back into the middle of the mat. Okay, I'm going to inhale, pick up my right knee, and reach the left leg out in front, and I'm going to pull the knee forward. Okay, so I'm trying to straighten my arms, and I'm really pulling the knee forward, almost to the point where, like I am now, my back has kind of curled up off the floor, but I'm really pushing. Now, even though I'm laying back down, I'm still pushing. Okay, now exhale, bring that right knee over to the left. Look to the right. Exhale, pull the low belly in, tone the pelvic floor. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Inhale, pick up that left knee. Again, shin forward, arms straight, and I'm pulling, pulling, pulling. I'm even going to start to pull so much that the back curls up off the ground. I'm going to keep that knee pulling forward, keeping the arms straight, and then I'm going to exhale, lower back down, still really pushing that knee forward, forward, forward with everything I've got. Exhale, bring the left knee over to the right. Look over the left shoulder. Okay, inhale, come on back up. Exhale, straighten the foot out. Inhale, pick up both knees. I'm going to widen the knees, reach them forward. Pubic bone and inner thigh pull forward to the point where the low back is ideally arched off of the ground. Inhale, pattern of the cat-cow. Exhale, start to bring the knees in towards the chest. Wrap arms around the shins. Give yourself a big hug and a squeeze. And then exhale. Make your way to a comfortable final resting pose. Turn everything off. Let everything go. And slowly drift away. Slowly begin to deepen and direct the breath all the way down. Gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bring the awareness to your nose. And if you can tell which side is more open, which side the breath flows through with the greater of ease, please roll to that side into a comfortable position using your bottom inner upper arm as a pillow. And gently make your way to a comfortable seated pose. I'd like to thank you for exploring your yoga practice. Sure, you did a marvelous job. I hope that you have a magnificent week. Please wash your hands. If you go out in public, wear a mask. Don't touch your face until after you wash your hands. And try not to hoard all of the toilet paper. Remember, nothing is what it seems, nor is it otherwise. Namaste.